Well, hello, everybody. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. My name is Dylan Dreiling. I'm here with the amazing Clark Harrison, and we're here to do a little Discover Arbonne for you guys. I met Clark a couple years ago, a few years ago, and we always had kind of a connection. And recently, we've kind of come closer and become really good buddies. And we both have very unique stories in this business, and we're both insanely passionate about it. And we just want to share this incredible gift and what it's given us because it's truly transformed both of our lives. And we feel like it's our greatest gift to share with this world. So I'm going to pass it over to Clark really quick. Clark, you can share your story, then I'll share my story, and then we'll get into the products and the business and just what this business can do for you, because like I said, it's transformed our lives and you don't want to miss what we have to say. So Clark, I'll hand it over to you and admit people as they come in.
Awesome. Thanks, Dylan. I appreciate it. And I'm really happy that we get to do this. Yes, Dylan and I have become friends in this process. We have met each other through this company. And, it's really cool because there aren't as many guys in this business as there are women, which is fine. I think it's just the way it used to be, and it's definitely changing. But, this opportunity is just as amazing for men as it is for women. And so just 2 seconds about me. I've actually been in Arbonne for a long time. I've been in Arbonne for 9 years. It feels like I was just new yesterday, but it's been 9 years. I started in late 2012. At that time, I was in the music industry. So I got signed to a major label out of high school, and I was in the music industry, touring, producing, et cetera. But I didn't really like the lifestyle. I didn't really like the industry. And I just wanted to spread my entrepreneurial wings. Now, I didn't know what that was, but when Arbonne found me, I had actually just gotten fired from a Pilates job because the company went out of business, and a random woman said, "If you need to make some extra money, I know some Arbonne, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay," but I didn't know what Arbonne was and whatever. She told me about Arbonne. And I was like, okay, I thought she owned Arbonne, and I thought she wanted me to answer phones like, "Hi, this is Arbonne, this is Clark. How can I direct your call?" I didn't know that. And so when she started explaining this business, I didn't get it. And I kind of stopped listening. And I was like, oh my God, she wants me to sell lipsticks and eye creams door to door with a clipboard. Like, she wanted me to, like, I thought this business was, and it's so funny now, but I thought this business was selling lipsticks and eye creams and stuff like that door to door with a clipboard from the trunk of my car. And I was like, there is zero chance zero chance I would ever do anything like that. So I said no. And 2 weeks later, she's like, "What do you think?" And I said, "What's up, Sage?" And I'm like, "I don't think that that's for me." And she goes, "I don't think you truly understand how it works." And she proceeded to explain the business to me the way that Dylan and I are going to explain it to you. And then it just went off like a light bulb. I mean, to me, I was like, I don't know why anyone wouldn't do this. Every single person is already doing what we do for a business anyway. Just most people aren't getting paid for it. And I think one of the biggest reasons why people aren't building this business, every reason, but a lot of people aren't doing it because they haven't taken the time to actually learn how simple it really is and what we actually do, especially in today's world. A lot of people just pass it on by because they assume it's something it's not. And so we're going to try to, really get on that, because thank God I opened my ears, because what Arbonne has done for me in the last 9 years is, not only in the very beginning, it provided me, $500 a month extra so I could pay my bills easier, but then that turned into a couple $1,000s a month, and I didn't have to have like my part-time jobs. And then when I got engaged and we had our daughter, then I was able to be a stay-at-home dad, and that was at the regional vice president level, and I was earning a full-time income like people would at a 40-hour-a-week job. And then now, as an executive national vice president, it's a really great lifestyle. My wife is a national vice president as well, and we're both home, and we're both flexible, and we're both free. And our daughter has special needs. It's not what we planned on for our life, but our daughter has a very severe seizure condition that requires person-to-person care. She can't care for herself in any way whatsoever. She can't talk or anything like that. So we have to be there all the time. And if it wasn't for Arbonne, we wouldn't have the time flexibility to be able to be there for her without fearing losing a job, without fearing getting fired, without saying you can't do this and do that. but also not limit the income we make, because this business's income is leveraged. And I think that's one of the most amazing parts about this when you build this correctly, is you have leverage income. So it allows freedom and flexibility and financial flexibility to live your life how you want to, or if you're in a situation like us where you need that, it provided it for us. So I honestly don't know what we would do without this. And I just know there's so many other people out there that could benefit from this opportunity. And we're not even getting into yet how beneficial the company is for the world and for people. So anyway, so that's a little bit of my story. Dylan?
Yeah, love it, man. Yeah, I mean, my story is pretty unconventional. It's about as unconventional as you get, so I actually grew up in Arbonne for, a good portion of my life. My mom started when I was 6. And at the time we were living in like a tiny little town called Paola, Kansas, and very normal Midwestern lifestyle. My parents had me really young, didn't make a very great income, just kind of were scraping by living in that small town. And my mom discovered the business, and it completely transformed our life because of her hard work and dedication. And through that, I was able to experience that there was more to life than what I grew up around, than the people I was surrounded by. And I think that for me, that really inspired me to want to make a difference in the world, to let my life be worth living, right? Because I don't know if anyone on this call or watching this call has ever felt like this, but as I got older, I before I ever even thought Arbonne would ever be a picture for me, like anything like that, I felt like I was a hamster on a wheel. I felt like I was running and trying to create all these things, and trying to do what society tells you that you're supposed to do in order to live a happy life. And the crazy thing is that the harder I tried to become that, the further I felt from my joy, the further I felt from my purpose. And so I was, doing all sorts of things. I was an Olympic weightlifter. I ended up at one point running a nonprofit and, doing all these things, but nothing really clicked for me. Nothing really clicked. I really wanted to find this balance between like being able to serve people, being able to like feel like I was really making a difference in people's lives, while at the same time being able to earn an income that would mean I wasn't constantly making money the center of my life. Like what a lot of people don't realize, they think that they're being, whatever their parents told them, they think that they're being, good people by not focusing on money, by not trying to create financial freedom for themselves, by not caring about money. But what I found was that the less money I had, the more I was thinking about money. And so I wanted something where I could have financial freedom, I could serve people, but like the Goldilocks zone, I could also have time freedom, because I grew up watching my mom have time with us. We were traveling the world. We were going on all these trips. She was home every day. It's not that she wasn't working. Of course you have to work to be successful at anything. But there's just this theme growing up where I just saw this and I knew that was what I wanted. So, fast forward with I did my nonprofit and all that, and all these things, and just things weren't working out. And I don't know if you've ever been stuck in the place where you just feel like you've exhausted all your options. You've tried everything. You feel like you've had everything taken away from you. I had my nonprofit taken away from me. I had a big breakup, and I had just like this personal crisis, like all within like this 1 month. And it led me to this place of surrender. And in the surrender, I became open for the first time, because a lot of times, we have these ideas of what we think we need to be doing, and we're so solid in that. We're like concrete, we become set in stone, and we lose the possibilities of life. So that's where I was. And this kind of crisis manifested itself. And I finally just surrendered and asked, like, what am I actually meant to do? I'm not happy doing what I'm doing. And in that moment, I just felt this pull, like, you need to look at Arbonne. Now, for me at the time, 7 years ago, uh, it never crossed my mind, not once. Because growing up for years, and I'll explain more about Arbonne, and Clark will as well, but for years, like, Arbonne was mostly skincare and cosmetics. And I spent my childhood going to Arbonne parties, sitting in a living room with older women, while my mom, put on this cream and put on that cream and this, and that. And I'm like, that would never appeal to me, right? So it kind of, everything lined up perfectly. And the moment came where I surrendered and I looked at Arbonne. And at the same time, Arbonne started coming out with all these incredible, like, nutrition products and sports products and men's products and all this stuff. I'm like, hey, this might actually work out. Like, I should look into this. And so I had my mom, I'm like, Mom, and she was shocked. Like, you should have seen the look on her face. I'm like, I want to look at Arbonne. She'd never pushed us, anything like that. And so we got into it, and I decided to join. And what's crazy is that week I ended up meeting my future wife, Samantha Dreiling, in the business, because of the business. And today we have two beautiful little girls because of this business, because we met through this business. And one of them was actually born on Arbonne's anniversary. So kind of crazy. So anyway, so that's kind of my story. Clark explained a little bit of his story too. We're going to talk a little bit about Arbonne itself, because that's why we're here. Clark and I could go on for hours about, just ranting. We do all the time. But essentially, Arbonne was started 40 years ago, over 40 years ago now, by a man named Petter Mork. And Petter grew up in Norway, and he was formulating skincare products in Switzerland, sorry. And basically at the time, this was like back in the 70s, he was formulating like really high-end products for wealthy people. Like, at the time, only wealthy people could afford, these high-end products. And he was putting, these botanically based ingredients and essential oils and all these gorgeous things. And it was really, really clean. Obviously it was selling, but he was looking at like what the average person was using. And the average person was using these products just full of chemicals and, all these ingredients that he knew was doing harm. And so he kind of had this light bulb moment where he realized that he wanted to create a product that, was formulated like he was formulating it for the wealthy and famous and all that kind of stuff, but for the average person. So he couldn't do that in Europe at the time. So he actually moved to America, to California, to start Arbonne in 1980. And that's where the story began. And so it began with skincare. And if you would have seen it back then, it was just hilarious branding. And we had like 4 or 5 different products. And it was, started from humble beginnings, but it's totally evolved since then. So now we have everything from, skincare like before, but we have hair care and cosmetics, and we have incredible nutrition. We've got essential oils. We've got sports products. Like, we have over 300 products. And one thing that I really love, and this kind of goes back to my weightlifting days, is that all of our products are super clean. So we ban over 2,000 ingredients that we think should not be in personal care products. And if you didn't know, I think that the US bans about, don't quote me on this, but about 14 ingredients in like personal care products. European Union, I think like 1,300, Canada like 500. Arbonne bans over 2,000. I think it might be over 2,500 now. And so we have this philosophy that all of our products need to be pure, safe, and beneficial. And they need to combine the best of science and nature and putting them together. And so when I was a weightlifter, I kind of went on the streak where I wasn't using anything of Arbonne, and we didn't really have as many nutrition products. And I was taking all the supplements you get at like, big box retailers, and the protein with the whey and all the stuff. And I felt like garbage. Like, I felt horrible. My adrenals were burnt out from too much caffeine and all the stimulants. I had acne everywhere. Like, God, you didn't want to be in a car with rolled up windows on any given day after I had my whey protein. Like, my body was hurting. And so once I started using Arbonne's clean products, it totally changed my life. And so I'm very, very grateful for that. We're totally vegan, we're kosher, we're gluten-free, like incredible. So that's a little bit about our products. The business. Now, the business is what like really drew me, because, and I don't know, Clark, if you want to comment a little bit on like what the business drew you, why it drew you, but for me, like I grew up seeing what is possible. And I also grew up, once I got a little bit older, I became an entrepreneur. And I was surrounding myself with like a bunch of entrepreneurs. I was living in Kansas City, which is kind of an entrepreneurial town if you haven't been there. And I was, kind of with all the big wigs and that sort of thing. And, I was, I would, with my nonprofit work for like fundraising and stuff, I'd meet like celebrities and like, billionaires, like super wealthy people. And I kind of noticed this pattern, which was crazy. And, they had, so many of these people had like everything that our society defines as like, this will give you happiness, right? All the money, like all the things, right? But what I realized is that they had something that was lacking, almost every single one of them, because they had spent all their lives trying to gain this money and this prestige and all this, what they thought was freedom. They actually missed out on like the most important aspects of life, which is really time freedom. So they had spent from their early 20s to like their late 60s acquiring all this wealth, but they had missed everything in between. They didn't have that time freedom, because when you're the CEO of a company, even if you're at the very top, you're married to the business. That's your life, right? And so what this business appealed to me so much, besides like the financial freedom, was like the time freedom. Like I can create a network of people who are sharing this incredible business, these incredible products. And through that, I can start to earn money, even when I'm not directly on my phone or in a meeting or working, like trading my time for money. So that was huge, right? And at the time, like online businesses started to really become a thing too. And like that really drew me as well, because I didn't want to spend 40 hours a week for the rest of my life just slaving away at a job. So that's a little bit of like the business for me. But Clark, I want you to come in because you're like super passionate about the business too. Oh, you're going to go at the end. So, okay. So what I want to ask you at the end of the day is like, what if you could change your life? Like, I think that in our life growing up, we're kind of conditioned to believe that, life kind of sets this predetermined path. Like, you go to school, you graduate with a degree, you get a job, you work at that job for 40 years, you retire, you have grandkids, then you cradle to grave, right? And that's what we're brought up with. And so many of us we've been conditioned to shut out the other options in life. We've been conditioned to close ourselves off. And so I'm here to ask you, Clark's here to ask you, like, what if you could wake up every morning and like choose your day? What if you could wake up every morning and like be the healthiest version of you? Like just feel on fire for life. Feel so much energy inside of yourself. What if you could like feel so much fulfillment from like everything that you do as a job, paying like your soul, like feeling fulfilling, feeling like you make a difference, feeling like you're speaking into people and like really transforming their lives. Like that's what life is really about, guys. Like at the end of your life, doesn't matter what your 401k balance is. Doesn't matter, what kind of house you live in, what kind of car you drive, or how much certainty you pursued in your life. What matters at the end of your life is how much you learned and how much you loved. How did you serve? How did you grow? How did you contribute? That's what's going to matter. And so if you feel like you're living a life right now where you're not embodying the person that you can be, if you know that you're not waking up with like this vivacious just zest for life, it means that something's out of alignment with what you came here to do. So those are my questions to you, and I'm going to turn it over to Clark to kind of continue this share. Oh.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, and I'm really glad that you brought up the whole, like, guys, Dylan really nailed down a super important point that I don't think enough of us think about on a daily basis, which is like, how do you want to live your life? Not just what do you want to create and how successful do you want to be, but like he said, time freedom. Like, wake up and choose your day. And, when he said that, it made me have a moment of gratitude because I've been waking up and choosing my day for the most part. I mean, I'm a dad, and I'm a dad of a special needs child. So there's stuff I have to do each day. I'm not completely free, but the fact that I can wake up and choose my day every day, I've been doing that for like 5 years now, at least. And, you get used to it. And sometimes I often see people that the Monday syndrome, where they fear Mondays, like, oh, it's Monday. I reordered my daughter's medication this morning and yesterday. And she was like, how you doing? I'm like, great. I'm leaving the gym. I was just at the gym. It was 10:15 in the morning. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. And she's like, oh, I need to wake up. She's like, but it's Monday, and I just felt bad that she said that. So it's Monday, as if like I'm supposed to agree that Monday is terrible. And Monday doesn't have to be terrible. If you're in a place where Monday is terrible because you don't have enough weekend, and you probably don't have enough freedom in what you're doing. And the Arbonne business creates a lot of freedom. And Ben Dylan was talking about how these CEOs spent, all these decades building this kind of wealth and prestige and whatever, at the sacrifice of time, maybe even with their kids, maybe with their families, all the sacrifice of time. That's great if you're truly happy, but many people aren't, like he mentioned. And the thing about Arbonne, that when he said, about the business, like, what was it about the business that I was attracted to? It was, you can have all the benefits of being that CEO, in the sense where you have leveraged income, you've built an infrastructure, you've built a network of people that are using and recommending the brand other than just you. So you're earning off of the work of not only your direct input, but other people's input. So it's leverage, but at the same time, the infrastructure is already built for you. Everything's done from the corporation. So you're not the CEO running the actual corporation. So it's this amazing hybrid model of where you have the benefits of owning a business with the infrastructure that was already in place over 40 years ago. So you're not running the actual Arbonne company. You just built the network. You just started the domino effect of people telling people. But you're not shipping products. You're not taking payment. You're not dealing with legal. You're not dealing with distribution. You're not creating packaging. If you were an actual CEO of your company, you'd have to do all of that. So the cool thing about Arbonne is you have all the benefits of being that CEO without actually having to manage all of it. So you have that freedom, and that is the beauty of network marketing, because you don't get that pretty much anywhere else. I mean, that's the entire part of this business model that's brilliant. So just a couple things to just piggyback off of what Dylan said. So there's 3 ways to earn when you share or sell Arbonne products. Number 1 is personal sales commission. So this is you sell products to clients and preferred clients and earn commission. So let's define sell, because my biggest hesitation for Arbonne was selling products, because I've never sold anything. I've never been in a sales job. I never wanted to be, or anything like that. But guys, selling in network marketing, especially with this 21st century model, is way different than what people think it is. Selling is as simple as this. Ready? Oh my God, I saw the most amazing show on Netflix. It's called Love on the Spectrum. It's so awesome. You should really watch it. It's so uplifting. Now, do you think I sold you anything? Probably no. I recommended a show I like on Netflix. But guess what? That's the same type of selling we do in Arbonne. I use our pre-workout. I bring it to the gym. I love it. I talk about it. If people go online and buy it because of me, I get a commission, but I didn't bring them product. I didn't sell it to them. I didn't take their money. I didn't deliver it. I don't stock product and sell it directly. So what I loved about this selling, if you want to call it that, is that it actually just reminded me of recommending. The same way we recommend hotels and restaurants, the same way we recommend anything. When people take advantage of those recommendations, you typically don't get paid. If I recommend that TV show I love, Netflix is not going to send me a check because I recommended their show, right? Or if I recommend the restaurant I had lunch at, and you go there and you love it, that restaurant's not going to send me a royalty of what you spent there because I marketed their business. But Arbonne does. And that's the thing that I want people to really consider, is that network marketing businesses pay you for your recommendations because they don't pay traditional advertising marketing. They pay the average person who decides to share it with their word of mouth network, and then they compensate them on the back end. So that was really cool. So personal sales commission. So when I, like, for example, if I tell my mom that, you know, that skincare duo that we have that's really good, 100% clinical results, 100% of people who used it got results. That's incredible clinical. That's an incredible clinical study. And I tell my mom about it, and she's like, "Oh my God, that sounds great." And then she goes on Arbonne, logs in, and purchases it. I'm getting paid the commission because I'm the one that told her about the brand. That's far different from the sales that I thought selling was. So that's the first way. Number two is overrides. So overrides are commissions earned from your team's product sales to their clients and preferred clients. So this is what's really cool. So let's say, you know, I was making $500 a month from Arbonne, but I have a friend who would also like to make $500 extra per month, so he could not necessarily have an extra job or be able to help with some bills or pay a car payment or whatever. I'd say, okay, cool. Why don't you start using our brand of products? You got to take a shower anyway. You got to brush your teeth anyway. You got to use stuff anyway. You might as well use our brand, right? And share it with a couple people. And when you do, you know, you'll earn the commissions off them. Well, guess what? Because I'm the one that told him about starting this business, I'm going to get paid the overrides off of his business. So he's not only so now he's making commission, but I'm getting overrides off of that. So now you're kind of, my business is creating other businesses, if that makes sense. So kind of like little franchises. I'm a little franchise that has some clients, and then I tell some people to start their own business, and then they have little franchises, and it grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. But the cool thing is all these little franchises are operating independently, but I'm getting little dividends off of each of them as I'm also earning off my own. This is the leverage piece. And then, so that's number two. So for one is commissions, two is overrides. And then the third one is achiever awards and stuff like that. So these are earned at every level based on performance for your business. So there's cash awards. There's also like a Mercedes-Benz program, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then there's like trips and stuff like that, and then gifts. So there's like, you know, gifts and cash awards and trips and that kind of stuff that's thrown in as well, which is really cool. So there's so you're earning in 3 different ways every single month, which is fantastic. And only one of those 3 ways is based on your direct sales, which is really cool. So I'm going to share with you now the levels of promotion in the company and just some average incomes and times. And just understand, I want you guys to be able to go to earnings.arbonne.com. Super important website. Go to earnings.arbonne.com. I love telling people about this website because this is where you can get some details, see what's typical, blah, 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 blah. But just go there so you can see all the fine print of what, you know, what's typical and things like that. So there's 4 levels of promotion in the company. The first is district manager. The average time to get there in the company is 7 months. There's a lot of people that do it a lot faster than that. You know, to be honest, like the last person in our team that just did it in 5 weeks. So just depends on you. And, you know, it makes up about 33% of consultants, and the average, you know, yearly income at that point is about $2,299 a month. So it's a couple $100 a month, typically. I'm sorry, $2,299 a year. It's a couple hundred. So it's like $300 a month, roughly. And then there's area manager. The average time to get there in the company is 20 months. The big perk of area manager is you can will your business here. So when I became an area manager, I didn't have a daughter yet, but once my wife became an area manager, we did have our daughter, and we were able to will my business and her business to her, right? So if anything was to happen to us, she would continue to earn the income. And then area manager, the average annual earnings is $13,785. These are based on 2020 incomes. Okay, so that's over $1,000 a month on average. So imagine making over $1,000 a month because 10 months ago you started using better products that were better for the earth, that were B certified, that were gluten-free, dairy-free, non-GMO, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. You started using better products at a discount with tax benefits and sharing that with a couple of people who shared that with a couple of people. And now you're making an extra $1,000 a month. That's amazing. That could pay a half of a mortgage. That could pay for your car. That could pay for whatever. Now, the third level of promotion is regional vice president. I didn't think this was possible at all when I got started. However, it ended up being possible. The average time of the company to do it in 2020 was 35 months. I did it in 35 months. Most of the people in my team did it less than that. They did it in like 22. My wife did it in 22 months. Jocelyn did it in 16 months. So it can go faster. The average yearly earnings at regional vice president is $62,711. Guys, $62,000 annual as average, because there's definitely the top 50 average is 134 grand a year. So 62,000 is average spread out upon people of these of this promotion. Guys, imagine this. Imagine making an extra $62,000 a year. Extra. I like saying extra because this doesn't, you don't have to quit your job to do this business. That's the thing that I really want to stress. Like, this is as simple as I'm using different, I go shop. I don't shop at CVS anymore. I shop from Arbonne, and I've used the training that's given to me to share that with a couple of people who share that with a couple of people who share that with a couple of people. And now I'm earning $62,000 a year alongside everything else I was doing anyway, all because I started this word of mouth trend to share a cleaner company with cleaner products that have more beneficial products that work better. I mean, we all use things anyway. We might as well use something. You would use things that were better for you anyway if they were priced. If they were the same price as the crap you buy, you would use the better stuff. Easily. So why not use the better stuff that's a massive discount, tax write-offs, better for the planet, etc., and that has an income attached? Because CVS doesn't offer you that, neither does Target, neither does anyone else. So imagine an extra $62,000 a year because of that. And the other big perk of regional vice president is this Mercedes-Benz cash award program. So once you're a regional vice president, that you have the opportunity monthly to earn an extra $800 on top of these earnings. So if you have a Mercedes-Benz, it just has to be white. So we've had 5 in my family. So we've had 5 that have been paid for monthly by Arbonne. So it's really cool. Mercedes-Benz, incredible safe vehicles. And, so that's a really cool way. That's a big perk. It's a big perk. And then national vice president is the final promotion. The average annual earnings for a national vice president is $253,000 a year. Guys, that's like what a doctor would make typically. And the average time to be a national vice president in 2020 is 60 months. So I did it in longer than that. It took me 7 years, a little over 7. And my wife did it in 6. But we're both independent. Like, I'm an executive national vice president. My wife is a national vice president. Dylan's wife is a national vice president, right? So to be able to reach this level in this business, all because I started using this brand a while ago because I heard this kind of information. I was taught how to share it with people because you just don't know how to do it. You're never going to know how to do it. But within the infrastructure that's given to you is everything you need to how to build it. So a lot of people don't build it because they don't know how, but they don't understand that if you just do it, you learn how. They teach you how, you get taught how. So I started using this brand 9 years ago just to make $300 to $500 a month. But I took the coaching and then I helped other people not only use the products, but also earn income as well, because why not them? And then they helped people, and then they helped people, and then they helped people. And then sure enough, I'm a national vice president later. Yay. Haven't had a job since 2013. It's amazing. But guys, the most amazing part about that is to earn that kind of income, but also to be able to be free. Like what Dylan was talking about with his mom was home all the time, was able to be with them. It's like, I take my daughter to school every single morning. I pick her up every single day. I make her lunch. I'm there for every doctor's appointment. I have to get her in the middle of the day if she has a seizure and I have to bring her home. It's not a problem. I'm flexible no matter what. If we need to stop in the school to do something, we'll do it. I also own another business and I can run around and do other things if I have to. The point is I'm free. I'm free and flexible because of this business is free and flexible. So it's an amazing, amazing, amazing. And you'll see those numbers at earnings.arbonne.com. So don't be afraid to go there because you'll see all this stuff. So So there's two ways to get started in Arbonne. Let me just share this really quick. One is as a preferred client. So let's say none of this income stuff is attractive to you at all, and you have zero interest in any type of business opportunity, and you just want cleaner products. It's $29 one time. However, this is the month of October, and this month it's actually free with a qualifying purchase, but it's typically $29 once to be a preferred client, and you'll get 20 to 40% off discount every single time you shop, no matter what, no matter when it is. Doesn't have to be every month. You'll always get that for an entire year. You'll also get free shipping on all orders over 150 SRP, and you'll get a special programs and a free product as well every time you shop as well. So for $29 once, which pays for itself within your first shop, you get that for an entire year. It's an incredible program. You're not charged every month like a lot of people are afraid of. A lot of people are like, oh no, they're going to charge my card every month. No, you don't get charged. It's not how it is. It's $29, and for an entire year, you get all those perks and discounts. It's amazing. But what I think the best option is to start your own business as an independent consultant. A lot of people can also be a consultant that doesn't have to build a business. For example, you could just be a consultant to get a bigger discount because the consultant discount's bigger. So to be a consultant, which is what we are, it's $49 for a year and then $30 annually after that. So it's $30 a year for me to keep my business open. In the last 9 years, what's 9 times 30? That's how much money I paid so far to keep my business open for 9 years. It's nothing. I probably make 30 times that per month at least. So it's like, who cares? So $49 once, $30 a year. We get 35% off. We get a wholesale discount. We get up to 50% off as well when we go shopping. We earn the incomes like I just told you about. We have the commissions and overrides and awards and et cetera, et cetera. And there's no mandatory minimum purchase requirements, which I think is super, super, super amazing. So, so long story short, guys, to kind of just wrap up my piece, and I'll throw it back to Dylan. Long story short is, this is a lot of information. It could be very confusing, but the way I heard this and what got me to say, you know what, let me do this was, one, I knew I was going to be using products anyway for the next 5 years. So I saw the average time to make it to the top of this company, national vice president, was 60 months. That's 5 years. Okay. That's the average time. Okay. And that hasn't changed since I started. I know people do it faster now, but that still was the average time. I go, okay, so for the next 5 years, am I going to wash my hair? Am I going to take a shower? Am I going to use deodorant? Am I going to brush my teeth? Am I going to use protein, vitamins, pre-workout, post-workout, chapstick, sunscreen, lotion, hand soap, whatever? I've already named 12 things that everyone uses, and there's more. Like Dylan said, we have over 300 products. We have a ton of stuff. Am I going to use those simple guy type of things every day or almost every day or consistently over the next 5 years? Of course, you all do. Everyone takes a shower and uses. So if I'm going to use these kinds of things for the next 5 years, period, with whatever money I am making, wouldn't it make sense for me to use a brand, right? Am I married to what I was using? No, I might as well use a brand that's better for me, better for the planet, puts food on the table for other families. It doesn't just go all the way to the top, right? That's actually helping independent owners. So better products, safer, cleaner, discounts, tax write-offs. And because I shared that with other people, I can earn an income. I said the worst case scenario is I'm using amazing products that are better for me, that are giving me better results, that are more financially, that make sense financially. I might as well do that. And the worst case scenario is I just have this amazing discount on better products for 5 years. Best case scenario is this business actually works and I earn an income. And guess what? That's the one that actually ends up working. So I did it simply out of logic, because if you're going to use products anyway, you might as well use something like this that's better for you, that has all this attached to it, because this opportunity changed my family's life and I didn't even know I was going to need it. And it changed everything. So, you really owe it to yourself, because it's not about like, what if this doesn't work? Well, if it doesn't work, you're going to be taking a shower the same way you would if you don't do this. So if it doesn't work, it's not a big deal. But if it does work, it changes everything, like everything. It changes everything. You're never tied to anything ever again that you don't want to be. So, I didn't feel like I was taking a chance. I just did that, and it was definitely the right decision. So, Dylan, do you want to say anything before we close out?
Yeah, man. I mean, thank you so much, and thank you for everybody that hopped on. I mean, we're passionate about this, and we just wanted to come and share our hearts and share what's truly transformed our lives. And I think that when I started, I don't know about you, Clark, but I knew what was possible already. And so I really asked myself this question, like, if I start this business and I fail miserably, what's it going to cost me? It's going to cost me $49, right? I bought some products when I started too, but I was going to use those anyways. So I'd lose $49. But if this business really was meant for me and I took it to the top, what would it cost me to say no to it? And I know today, even if my business was wiped out tomorrow, I gained my wife, my daughters, and an incredible, incredible life experience thus far. So what I'm saying is, you don't know what this business could bring you. Nobody knows until you open yourself up to the infinite possibilities. So thank you so much for hopping on. Clark, if there's anything else you want to add, go for it, but signing out from me. Awesome. All right, guys. Bye. Thank you.